Oh no, they can hear me.
Oh no, they can hear us now.
My goodness.
Oh no.
Whatever shall I do? Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. It's Zur Scale 2, Electric Boogaloo time. Let's just get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. Alright, so someone pointed out last time that I from the Dungeons and Dragons secret lair, which is absolutely true. Yeah, completely just forgot to include those ones in here. So we'll need to start out with, there's 6 monocolored commanders and there's 1 multicolored one, so it won't take too long to go through them. Also, unfortunately, they're also not the best commanders, so it won't take too long to rate them.
Yeah, they're all pretty not great.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, first one we're starting out here is, and if somebody's actually seen this movie, please tell me if I'm saying these names wrong. Is this Zinc?
It's Zinc, I think. I have no clue.
Looks like spelling of zinc for me. They replaced 3 letters and got the same pronunciation. Weird.
Strange how that works.
So Zinc Paladin Unbroken, 4-mana 2/2 or 2/4 double strike, Human Knight, auras you control have exalted.
Yeah.
This is honestly probably the best of the bunch out of this secret lair.
Yeah, I mean the effect's super strong.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that auras are not nearly as well supported as equipment are.
Very true.
So
yeah, you do get your enchantress effects, which is really nice.
But you're also mono white, so you're missing out on like half of the actual enchantress effects.
Yeah, you do at least get Sram and Core Spirit Dancer, which those are very, very good for you to have. You can play Mesa Enchantress, but I don't know if you want Mesa Enchantress because 3-mana Enchantress in mono white is a little tough. But that's okay.
Yikes for me.
It still feels very playable to me. Honestly, this feels very fine. Like, one of the things I really like about this commander is, all those, like, land enchantments that we've been getting that exile something when they enter the battlefield, like Ossification.
Yes. Yeah. Those are super good here.
Yeah, so you don't actually need to... Like, this somewhat fixes one of the problems of aura-based Voltron decks, where if your commander goes, you're just dead. But... yeah, it somewhat fixes it. It doesn't perfectly fix it.
You still have to get trample and all that, which is...
Or just protection from creatures.
Yeah, I guess that's a lot easier to get in auras. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably an average deck.
Yeah, I would say this is actually a pretty good 5. Like, it has a lot of small tools that help it, but it is very, very beatable.
Yep.
It will just absolutely kill somebody, though. All you have to do is just attack with your commander a couple times. So, yeah, I don't know if it gets much better optimized, though. I think it just remains the same.
Yeah, I think it's just a 5. Flat
Yeah,
out.
5/5.
5/5.
Supports 8 or 9, probably 8.
It's probably an 8 because you don't get to play all of your enchantment pieces and have them be good.
Yeah, flexibility's pretty low too. It's about a 2 in the flexibility. Like you will have one thing you're very much trying to do. And this is one of those situations where, yeah, it's still probably just a 5. Like, the power here, I don't think the commander is particularly pushing the deck that hard.
Yeah.
Or rather, the cards in the deck aren't pushing it stronger than the commander is, and vice versa.
No, I legitimately think that the commander is actually kind of what's holding this deck up, rather than the cards in the deck.
That's understandable. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yep. Alright. We have a mono blue one, right?
Yeah, yes, we do. Simon, I think was his name?
Simon.
Yeah, good old Simon.
Simon, wild magic sorcerer. 2 and a blue for a legendary creature, human elf shaman. He is a 1/1. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 3 or greater, roll a d20. A 1 through 9 makes everybody draw a card. A 10 through 19 makes you draw a card. And then a 20 copies the spell. Rolling dice is bad.
I was gonna say fun, not good.
Yeah.
Like definitely fun, but
I'm leaning
the requirement to be 3 mana value or more is also a bit awkward.
I'm leaning on like a 3. Is that insane? Am I insane for that? This kind of feels 3-ish to me.
Oh, 3 is pretty close to where I was initially thinking. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that would bump it up by 1. Because the one thing I do like about this thing is... So, like, if you click into the EDH rec side of it, there are people doing high tide things, because you can do stuff with Frantic Search. And...
Oh, hey, Robo.
When you have... Hey, Robo. Does Mono Blue even get advantage cards? Good question.
I mean,
it
yes?
Does.
Question mark? Kind of?
I don't think it's the thing that lets it roll another card, as you mentioned. Yeah, as you mentioned, the Barbarian class, or Will, or Weil, I don't know what his name is. But, yeah, and a lot of the deck, I guess the cool thing is Vexing Puzzle Box is not a terrible card in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, Vexing Puzzle Box does not make this deck. It's just a neat card. You get to play all the unwinding, like, counter spells. But that's kind of it.
Yeah, there's just not a lot here that makes me super happy. I was going to say, the comparison to this and the Saga Jin-Gitaxias.
Yeah.
I think Saga Jin-Gitaxias is just generally better, right?
Yeah. Much better. I will say also, good news, there is one thing that lets you roll again, which is good old Bamboozling Beeble over here.
Oh, baby.
Protection for robots, too. Very powerful. 1 mana, 1/1. But no, it's not very good.
Yeah,
and, of course, we haven't even mentioned that the first roll, like, the first half of your rolls are just straight up downside.
Yeah, they're card disadvantage for you overall, because you're drawing your opponent's cards.
Honestly, I was overlooking that too much. I honestly, this should be a 2.
Yeah.
50% of the time when you do the thing your deck's set out to do, you're going to make your opponent draw a card. That's too rough.
I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
It's just a bit too rough.
The support's also not quite there, because, like, there's instant and sorcery support, don't get me wrong, but there's just rolling dice and forcing your opponents to draw support. Yeah. And there's not really, well, I guess there is some flexibility in how you do two cost things.
Robo sums it up perfectly.
Mm.
Woo, rolling dice sucks.
Indeed. No questions asked.
Like,
unfortunately, that one's just particularly not there. There's probably going to be another D&D related thing or something that rolls dice in the future that'll make this a little bit better, but right now it's not there.
In Mono Blue, it's still kind of rough.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's jump over to the Mono Black one. This is Forge, Neverwinter Charlatan.
I like his jacket. Or his coat.
It is nice.
That's a very nice artwork. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so 4 mana 2/4 human rogue, menace, ward, sacrifice a creature. 4 gets +2/+0 for each treasure you control, and whenever one or more players sacrifice one or more creatures, you create a tap treasure token. This ability only triggers once each turn.
So we're playing Mono Black Aristocrats with treasure synergies.
Yes.
It's actually pretty good.
It is. Mono Black has gotten so many treasure synergies recently that it is not hard to get Forge up to being a near lethal threat.
And it's got menace and a pretty good ward ability.
Mm-hmm. So. Now, importantly, it's whenever one or more players sacrifices one or more creatures. It is not destroy or kills, right?
Yeah, they specifically have to sacrifice.
They have to sacrifice. So you pretty much have to force them to do that. You can force them to do that just by making Forge a big thing that they have to deal with.
So we're just playing Shield or Tribal here then.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
honestly,
that kind of sounds like a pretty solid way to play this deck.
Yeah. And it is players as well, so it's just like you can single-handedly do this as a sack deck.
And also makes treasures, so your Rumel enriches is your main win condition.
Yep.
As well as beating face. Pitiless Plunder still absolutely insane, just in every deck.
Yeah, so just play mono black sack where your primary removal spells are sacrifice based. This feels average to slightly below average.
I'm gonna lean more on it's an average deck.
Want to throw this at a 5?
Give it a solid 5.
Okay. Do we think it gets much better if we optimize? I don't think it does really.
Yeah, he gets so giant it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I can completely see that. I'm wondering if there's potential for like very niche card, but Rite of Consumption.
Oh yeah, definitely potential for it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was in their list there, but Rite of Consumption is just a 2. It's basically a mono black flame, but it only deals at 2 players, and you gain life. So, yeah, maybe there's something you can do with playing Rite of Consumption in the deck as a neat way of finishing off a player.
So, would Forge here be absolutely turbo dumb if he was Rakdos?
I still wouldn't think he'd be turbo dumb, but I think he'd be very, very good. He would be probably maybe above average. Yeah, he would certainly improve.
You can, because if he was Rakdos, you could easily have like 5 or 6 treasures the turn that he's ready to swing.
Guys, nuts and Mari decks, Killing Quill. Yeah, I could see that. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure I like it as a 5, but at the same time, I don't hate it as a 5, so I'm cool with that. And just leave it there. I don't know where it would be if we made it Rakdos, because I feel like it gets to being a 6, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with just going 5/5s if you're cool with that.
5/5.
I like it. Yeah, you got all the support, buddy. Or you have a 9 for support, buddy.
Yeah,
the treasure support is a little bit awkward in mono black.
I feel like this is about on the same level as Erebos bleak carded. So if that's a 5, this is a 5.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Erebos bleak carded might be a little bit better, honestly. But I will say though that its flexibility is about on par with Erebos, because you actually don't have to play any treasure support in this deck to make it good. It just gives you more options.
You just play Aristocrats.
Yeah, which may actually give it a bump. Like, you can start moving away from killing your own creatures to do it. I don't think these other builds give it power, but I do think that it's good. Hey, Munkle Monster, how you doing today?
Munkle Monster.
He lives! Alright, we gonna move to mono red?
Yeah, I think we're gonna move to mono red.
Alright, we got 2 mono red commanders. We got Holga first.
Holga, Relentless Rager. 4 generic and 2 red. Legendary creature, human barbarian. She has haste. Excellent.
Yes.
She must be blocked if able. That's pretty bad. Whenever Holga attacks, each creature you control attacking a player gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each creature that player controls. So for each creature your opponent controls, they get +1/+0?
Yes.
This
is pretty mid.
Yeah, that's pretty mid. Yeah, I can't even call this. Can't even like justify a 4 in my mind on this.
I can maybe see the 4 here because like, oh, my opponent can put up a lot of resistance, and you just play a bunch of creatures with trample. It's like it's fine. It's good for forcing your damage through, but at the same time, we're talking about a 6-mana commander designed for forcing damage through.
Yeah, which there are 4-mana commanders that do stuff even better at forcing damage through.
Yeah, by comparison, like I would much rather just take an extra combat step.
Yeah.
It's not the worst, but it's certainly not good.
Yeah.
I'm still not feeling the 4 that strongly though.
I'm feeling a 3.
Yeah, I'm looking through the average decks on EDH right now, and
yeah, 3. We're looking at 3.
We're looking at 3s. I'm not a big fan of Hunted Dragon being an important card in my deck.
Yikes.
Especially because those things have first strike. Yeah. Defile of Instinct. I mean, sure, that's fine. We'll get to use Themberchaud, or whatever your name is. If this was a mana cheaper, I would give more consideration to this, but I think 3 is a pretty easy place to put this.
I think if this was a mana cheaper, it'd be for sure a 4. But
yeah, I think it'd be 4.
At 6 mana, it's just, I can't.
Alright. I've done 3s. 3, I mean, it just wants us to play creatures, and it wants our opponents to have creatures, but wants us to have trample. I mean, you got the support to do that in red. You can go wide as well. Like, there's a lot that can make this work, but the support's carrying the deck, not the other way around. And that said, it's like a 2 on the flexibility.
Yeah.
It's not very good. I don't like what we're working with here.
We're basically getting not that much to work with.
Yep. All right, then let's jump on down to Themberchaud. And again, if somebody's actually seen this movie or can tell me how these names are being pronounced, let me know, because I don't know what I'm doing.
I think it's Themberchaud. Themberchaud. Oh boy, that's a 7 mana spell.
That is a 7 mana spell. It's a board wipe.
It is a board wipe. It exerts to give flying. Why doesn't the dragon innately have flying? I understand that it's bad.
You found the reason. You have found the reason.
I understand the dragon a little chunky.
He do be a heckin' chunker. Let's be real on that. All right, like he is massive. That said, this deck's not
pretty
bad.
Good.
This is pretty bad.
Like a 2. Are you thinking a 2? Because I'm thinking a 2.
It is a board wipe. Like I just care about it being a battlefield board wipe on your command zone. As a 5 mana commander, you gotta play a bunch of creatures with flying, which means you're playing dragons. Honestly, that does feel like it goes barely into a 3 for me.
Yeah, it might be a 3. Maybe. It's pretty bad.
Have we ranked Mary Esquire of Rohan? No, I don't believe so. Unless that was the Zorius one. I think Mary is the...
Mary is Boros.
Yeah, so we haven't gotten to that one yet. We will... probably won't get to that one. That's like the end of 2 colors, unfortunately.
Yeah. So...
we're going to make sure that we cover the Commander Master stuff first, because there's 1, fewer of them, and 2, people are interested in that. So, we'll get our opinions on that.
There's what? 6 new creatures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm willing to give this just a 3.
I can be convinced on a 3. It's real rough, though. It's really rough.
It does actually have a lot of support, honestly. It's got maybe a 9 for the support, because like you play dragons, you play mountains, like damage doublers work with this. I don't like that it hurts you, because it's all players.
Yep.
And the flexibility of the deck is not very high. Not the worst, but not very high. Also, while I'm here, I'm seeing that this Red Terror is at 3. I might need to change the Red Terror up by 1.
All will be 1 literally gets to bump it to a 4.
Yeah, let me see. Are people playing All Will Be 1 currently? Yep.
Yeah.
Be a 4, buddy. I don't think...
It didn't matter if everybody was playing All Will Be 1 or not. All Will Be 1 makes that card a 4. Or makes
well, it's a 90% of the Red Terror decks you'll run into, so...
Yep. All
Yeah,
right.
and also just the baseline was doing a little better.
Ah,
All right, with the
yes.
green one,
The
All right.
druid.
Doric.
Doric. The tiefling druid. That's an interesting combination there.
Yeah, I'll buy
4
give.
mana for a tiefling druid with vigilance.
Mm-hmm.
She tutors a forest onto the battlefield tapped.
Not bad.
It's just a forest, not... That's actually pretty strong. That's just
A
a
forest
forest.
card.
That is not a basic forest.
Okay, that's relevant. There's a couple of non-basic forests that we could find here. And they're coming into play tapped anyway, so like you're not really losing anything by grabbing those. What's backside of this card do again?
Vigilance Trample 6/6.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever she transforms, other legendary creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then you flip back. It doesn't exile though; it just transforms.
Yeah, it just transforms. There's no enter the battlefield effect going in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is okay.
That's okay. I mean, it's it's green stompy.
It is legendary creature green stompy. I mean, are there any particularly good legendary green creatures we want to talk about for stomping all over the place? Because it's got Goreclaw in the deck. I see Yorvo here.
Old
Galta. Gwenna's okay.
Oh yes, Questing Beast.
The best green creature in Stompies. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of green options for legendary creature Stompy. It'd honestly be pretty easy to make a full green deck of just legendary creatures that I wouldn't mind giving +2/+2 and trample. But this is very straightforward and very linear.
Yeah, what if we put Robbo brings up a good point. What if we put Zuladoc and Goreclaw at? Because this is just a strictly worse version of that deck.
Agreed. Where do we put Zuladoc and Goreclaw at? Zuladoc and Goreclaw, we put it at 4s?
I have 4s. So 3s? Or is it a 4? Because this is strictly a worse.
I think it's low end 4.
Yeah.
I think it ends up being in the same tier, but on the lower end of that tier.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite a 3, not quite a 4, but low enough to make it to a 4. I think you can stomp pretty good here.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I don't think it gets better when optimized. If anything, it potentially gets worse when facing other optimized decks.
I legitimately think this gets worse. Because that's the same deck. You don't get anything. You don't get anything out of it.
That's true. I wonder if, let's see, you get better mana, which helps you get your better creatures. No, I think there's something to be said of the optimization. Because then you can talk about, like, how many mana dorks are you playing in the deck to help get to Doric, which, in most casual decks, most people don't like playing a whole bunch of turn 1 mana dorks when they should be playing them. They are good.
Okay.
So, I think that just baseline support improving, maybe seeing the presence of Great Henge, which you might not have been able to see for budget reasons.
Well, don't worry, Jason. We'll probably get to see it more now.
You're right. You're right. Stupid Great Henge.
Gotta love
50%
it.
useless anyway. That's nice. At this point, no, we don't quite have legendary creature support. We're a little bit short of the legendary creature support in mono green to give that the full marks.
We're almost there.
Flexibility is not very high. You're just playing every green legendary creature you can.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, some amount.
No, it's
feels like
close.
2 to me.
It's pretty close to every green legendary creature we can.
Mm-hmm. Party tree printing?
Oh yeah, the box topper for Lord of the Rings. Of the Grey Henge. Yeah.
Fair.
It's a really nice artwork on the Grey Henge.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's jump over to Izzet so we can get Edgkin. That is
Izzet.
his name, right? Edgkin. We will cover other Izzet commanders in another time, but we're going to clear this one out. So I can talk about how Foretold sucks, and this goat effect isn't good enough.
Yeah, somebody who's played the Zorius Foretell deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Foretell sucks.
Yeah, Foretell bad. Let's get blown up by Dranith Magistrate. Hooray!
Exactly.
Is there any particular, like, let's see. There's maybe something to be said of Edgkin and being able to use the, untaps your lands, sort of, instants and sorceries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that this works with anything is kind of helpful. And the other thing that's nice is how this works with wheels. That said, I don't think there's anything. There's one creature that you can play to reduce your foretell costs, right?
No, Gutty. Just accept it. Foretell is the worst. Foretell is one of the worst mechanics in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, like, I think Cosmos Charger is the only.
That should be the only thing that foretells on not as a sorcery.
Yeah, and I'm not. I am not seeing the good support. I see the spell slinging.
Mm-hmm.
I see the okay things that are going on.
There is an exception to every statement that we make, Gutty. Battle Mammoth is just a legitimately fine card.
Sage and Beyond. Yeah, so we don't get cost reduction very easy to, because a reminder to everyone about how foretell works. When you foretell the thing, you cannot cast it that turn. You have to wait until the next turn to cast it. So anything that is sorcery speed has to go around it has to come back to your turn. You've paid your investment to foretell your thing, and then you must cast it.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough. It works fine with instants, but not great with instants because it begs the question of, well, if I just foretold my thing anyway.
Foretell is like one of the best examples of this was not designed for Commander in mind.
Yeah, probably not, honestly.
Because it's great in 1v1, but in Commander, it's just way too slow.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the worst Spellslinger decks you could play, because, like, again, the foretelling is just not that good. Mm-hmm. And the goat is actually just, like, near worthless.
Yeah.
So, can I choose this man?
I think we're choosing this man.
Choose. Support. You got something.
Flexibility? Yikes.
Yeah, each non-land can be exiled with foretell. You can cast anything, but that's nice. I guess also important thing to mention about this guy is because of how he works. You're basically just getting a 2 generic mana cost reduction on your following turn. So you don't want to play things that have heavy pip requirements, like, say, Niv Mizzet Peyrune.
Mm-hmm.
That foretell does nothing for you then.
Yeah.
You just made your Niv cost more. So there's flexibility here. I'll give it that. It's not great flexibility though, because again, we still know what we want to do. I'm really tempted to give him a 1 in terms of his individual power.
I think it's a 1. The goat's just useless, and the foretell is not good.
Yeah, it's like the deck's getting brought up by the cards that are being played in the deck, which you could just cast anyway. Like the foretell just does so little. So, yeah, that secret lair's done.
All right,
let's get to the spicy stuff.
All right, Jason, elephant in the room, or are we skipping straight to colorless?
I was just gonna go in order, starting with Abzan.
Okay.
I mean, we can go straight to colorless if we want to.
I kind of want to rant, or not rant, but give thoughts on the colorless options.
Sure. Do we want to start with Omarthus or Omarthus?
Let's go in order.
Sure. So we start with Omarthus.
We start with Endless One, the legendary creature.
Yes. Except worse.
Much worse. Manifest is bad. It's just not. This
Manifest.
is not inspiring at all.
This is not inspired joy.
This doesn't inspire joy at all.
So I'll be real with you. I actually don't hate Omarthus. Like, so obviously this is one of those Ozleth decks.
Mm-hmm.
The really cool thing about this is a deck that encourages you to play modular creatures. That's neat. There's a lot of colorless Stompy that plays with 1/1 counters. Unfortunately, it's mostly on artifacts, so you don't get that many counters onto the Omarthus. That said, anytime they get a counter, which just them entering will get a counter, you get to put a counter on an Omarthus.
Mm-hmm. What do you do with Omarthus? There's so many words on this card, and I can't figure it out from V in the chat.
So currently, I'm just going to say this now, there are literally 0 decks for this guy on EDH Rec.
Because
so
it
we
will
are
not pull data until Commander Masters releases.
Pretty much, yes.
Yep.
So we will have to revisit Omarthus later. But I actually don't think Omarthus is terrible. I think it is bad. I don't think it's terrible.
I'll give it a 3-4 split.
Oh, we're as good as 3s? Hell yeah, I'm good. I was like, this is a 3 to me.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3-4 split, and reasoning on the 4 is just fast mana in a colorless deck. The more mana rocks, the better.
Yeah, it improves it greatly.
Yeah.
Artifact cost reducers as well, huge here.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say I do really like that this is not a big mana colorless deck. Like, we have so many big mana colorless decks.
Yeah, we're going small on Omarthus.
And there might be something in here of a sack outlet deck. You did say, Manifest is not the greatest mechanic, but at the same time, when you have a commander that dies, and you get to manifest, like, let's say this thing's a moderate sized, like 4/4 or 5/5,
you
right?
Manifest 4 cards.
Right. You have built up your board so quickly there. There might be something to be said here. That said, I don't think Manifest is helping us out much here.
It's not what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, let me just very quickly. I'm just gonna see. So there's exactly 3 cards in colorless that say Manifest on them.
Yep.
So you do not get a lot of options. And Ugin's Mastery. I mean, the Manifest part is nice, but the attack with the creature power, with creature's total power already, you can turn a face up. That's actually fine.
That's actually fine.
Yeah, this is fine. A-okay by me. Not great. Flexibility is pretty low. Or actually, color support's very low.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a 4 on the color support. The flexibility is a 1, maybe?
It's a 1. You have to play all the 1/1 counter artifact stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if Omarthus is carrying its own deck. We will see. But I feel like 3s on Omarthus' power and let the support be what's carrying it. Because of the 1/1 counter synergies in artifact creatures. That's probably enough. Alright. Zuladoc? If it was Chinese, the name would be Zuladoc. But
Eldrazi names.
Eldrazi, yes. Weird sounds.
Is this the Titan that's replacing Emrakul, since Emrakul is in the moon?
Apparently this is a what if, and it's this Titan does not actually exist.
Oh, dang.
Similarly, we don't have any confirmation that Omarthus exists. So
Okay. Alright.
Rip.
Hot take, Jason.
Indeed.
7 mana spells
Mm-hmm.
are a lot.
Correct.
Even with Cascade, that is still a bit of a yikes.
Counterpoint.
Colorless.
Affinity for artifacts.
Yeah.
But affinity for artifacts.
Affinity for artifacts. Sure. Are there any, like, absolutely amazing affinity for artifact cards?
Well, Mike and Sith Golem is the one you really want.
Okay.
And similar, you can also play Metalwork Colossus, functionally having affinity for artifacts. I'm going to look for it very quickly. Artifacts. And let's make sure we only get colorless ones. All right, so the only artifact creatures that have affinity for artifacts on them are Myconith Golem, Mirror Enforcer, and Sojourner's Companion, all of which you would play in this deck.
Yep.
So that is without a doubt. As for colorless creatures, mana value 7 or greater that we would actively want to play, yeah, I see Cityscape Leveler. That's like our best thing that we got going for us. We got plenty of our...
Golem's good.
Got a lot of cost reducers. Maelstrom Colossus is funny. That's not good, but hey,
Not
extra
good.
cascade for you. Yeah, we just want to reduce the cost of these spells as much as humanly possible, or inhumanly possible in the case of Eldrazi.
Yeah, we're just flipping into cost reducers. That's all we're flipping into.
Yeah, we are just...
Cost reducers and
Yeah,
drops.
we don't even get that many removal spells. Like,
No.
we only get like 3 or 4. So yeah, that's the big awkward thing. We do get to play colorless combos. I don't know if we're gonna bother playing them, but we do get them as an option.
Oh, we get to slam we get to cascade off the portal for Exia.
This is true. Yeah.
All right.
This does just tell you play ramp, play your best spells. Play good, quote unquote, colorless cards, right? So I don't hate this.
I don't hate it. I'm looking at the EDH rec for it, and it's all Eldrazi, which, I mean, checks out.
Yeah, I mean, Forsaken Monuments and all sorts of color. Actually, here's an important question. Since we do have Forsaken Monument, how are we doing on Basalt Monolith?
Probably playing? I would hope we're playing it.
It's probably going to be in your mana artifacts, right?
56%.
56%. Yeah, so we're... Jeweled Lotus does work here, that's fun. 20% playing Jeweled Lotus as well. That's actually really surprising how much fast mana we're seeing here. 72% playing mana... Or, sorry, not 72, 42% playing Mana Crypt. Dear Lord, that's a lot more fast mana than I was expecting.
That's pretty typical for these colorless decks, though.
It's true, you do see it more often. It's just surprising. That's a really high percentage.
Monolith is in the precon, if I remember correctly.
Oh, is it?
It should be.
Okay.
If it's
We'll see how many... Yeah, we'll have to see how many people are putting... I'm blanking on the name of that stupid artifact now, but the thing that goes infinite with it pretty easily. For this Forsaken Monument. Yeah, so... I don't know... It's not easy, but it's not particularly hard to go infinite mana and colorless and then just cast big spells. And then kind of just like present my hand and hope it's the best. And it seems like that's what people are doing.
That is kind of what people are doing.
Yeah, not an insignificant portion of it. Not the strongest thing, but honestly, hear me out on this.
Probably a 4 or 5.
I was just gonna say a 5.
Yeah, might actually just be a 5.
I honestly think this might be better than Karn Legacy Reforged.
It's real close.
Yeah.
Like,
Zuladoc's not the best commander, but I don't think it's worse. Now the question is, does it get that 6 though?
no, because you're probably already playing all of the mana acceleration and all that anyways in the normal build, so I don't think the deck actually changes that much.
We'll check one thing very quickly. So Karn does not let you cast or spend the mana that you make with it on anything other than non-art. Like, you can't cast it on non-artifact spells. It has to be spent on artifacts or activated abilities.
Whereas this is Cascade for anything 7 or greater.
Yeah, so it works much better with your Eldrazi and things. So that's something Karn doesn't get to play, or at least not as consistently. I think there is a difference, and I think we have a new king of colorless commander decks.
Wow,
Barely.
such a high bar here.
I know.
That colorless is set.
I think you get to be a slightly above average deck when you're optimized.
Okay, sure. Give it a 5, 5-6.
Okay, I'll give you some support. You have a tiny bit of flex. Actually, maybe you don't even have any flexibility. Yeah, you don't really have flexibility.
The real question is, how many DMs from Ethan are we gonna get about how to break this card?
Plenty. Ethan will tell us all the ways that this card can be broken, and I'm here for it. I appreciate it. I think this is very fair, though.
Yeah, this is pretty fair.
I'm not really seeing like some weird ancestral statue, like instead golems lines or anything like that. So
yeah,
we'll find out though.
All right.
Abzan? What next? What do you want?
Go back to Abzan, or
sure, Abzan. We can do slivers. Chat, have any preference?
Yeah, chat. Do you have a preference?
We can either do. We can do Jeskai, we can do Abzan, we can do slivers. We can talk about any of those right now. One of them will be spoken of momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we will give you a minute for the delay, but...
And I'm probably just going to go ahead and flip over to the Jeskai tab.
Because that's what you'd like to talk about?
No, because I
already know
what's... Yep, I already know what's going to get said from Gutty.
Gutty wants to hear us defend Commodore Guff.
I'm going to put him 6 feet deep.
Planeswalker stuff?
Yeah, we already had one of those. From like...
Well, here, Liori. We'll get to that. We'll go on order first then. All right, let's talk Commodore Guff.
All right, the Guffster.
Guff father.
Okay, do we want to get on my soapbox rant now about why this static is awful?
First, let me just say, Guff, I absolutely fucking love you in the lore.
Uh-huh.
You will be hurt today. Carry on.
Alright. So, at 4 mana, we're only putting 1 extra loyalty counter on 1 Planeswalker. Not good.
Another one.
Notably not himself, which is awful. +1s to make a mana dork. That's great. Mana's restricted. That's not great. -3. You're a magical Christmas land if you think this does more than draw 3 cards, deal 3 damage to each opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go further into the magical Christmas land for a second. One of the things that I don't hate about Commodore Guff is that any Planeswalker commander with a -3 that deals damage to your opponents can be a win condition. Right? Any way of dealing direct damage to your opponent. That means that if you generate infinite mana and have ways to get rid of your commander, you can now just play Guff deal damage, get Guff off of the battlefield, do it again.
Yeah.
The difference is Jessica kills herself, which is very, very important. Because now we don't need a sack outlet of some kind, or a way of dealing damage, notably 2 damage, to Commodore Guff.
This is like one of the very few times that I will say this. A Planeswalker actually has too much starting loyalty.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Like, if Guff had 3 starting loyalty, we'd be talking. That this would be in legitimate contention for a very strong deck.
Yeah. I will say that if you can accelerate to Guff early, I don't think it's unreasonable for you to get to a situation where... Yeah, woo, Jessica. Where you uptick Guff, manage to save Guff from damage going around the table. Because, again, reminder, everyone in Commander just randomly picks off Planeswalkers because you can't let them sit around. We know what happens when they do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can maybe run into the situation where you get to downtick on the following turn, draw 2 cards. Or maybe just draw 1 card because Guff might die in the process of doing that, which means one, because you played another Planeswalker, so Guff's rough.
Yeah, for 4 mana, this is, I don't think, what we want to be doing with the Planeswalker commander.
I would maybe change my tune if instead of having white, it had green.
Absolutely, we had Doubling Season.
Oh, we'd get Doubling Season, Parallel Lives.
We'd be cooking.
Yeah, we do get Mondrak and Anointed Procession here, but I don't think that's particularly great. We do get what's her name? Lae'zel or whatever, the new 3-mana one that whenever a counter would be put on a Planeswalker or a creature you control, it gets an additional 1.
Yeah.
That thing's actually pretty solid. That said, Guff. Guff.
Guff is rough.
Guff is in fact rough. We're playing so many proliferate things just to try to get anything out of this. Here's an important question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Guff better than the twins? Because we do have one option for Will and Rowan Kenrith.
Okay.
I feel like Will and Rowan Kenrith are probably slightly worse or equal to Commodore Guff. And I say this without looking at their numbers.
I'm gonna look at their numbers. Okay, so
Rowan.
Will and Rowan are 2s.
Okay. I was like, maybe there's something there. Maybe we can change our views and justify Guff in some way. I feel like Guff's 2, maybe 3.
Ability doublers. Yeah.
Maybe. Something else to put loyalty counters onto him. But at the same time, if you're using any of the aura ones, if you put that on Guff, he's going to be targeted. We know he's going to be targeted, so that's rough. Additionally, most of the protection effects, or rather, if you're playing Propaganda, for example, Propaganda stops you from being attacked. It doesn't stop your Planeswalkers from being attacked.
Yeah, there's only, Sphere of Safety? That's it?
Sphere of Safety helps. You can do, Baird, Steward of Archive.
Yeah, it's just not enough. Planeswalkers just get picked off way too easily.
Yeah, honestly, I think Pramicon still ends up being the better Planeswalker commander.
Yeah, if we're looking to play a fair Planeswalker deck.
Yeah. Guff. Is Guff on par with Pramicon? Because Pramicon we have the 3.
Yeah. I think it's on par with Pramicon, but in actuality, Pramicon's a better deck. But
yeah, and Pramicon's the higher end of 3S.
There
new
is
Propaganda
a new fixed Propaganda, yes.
Yeah.
It's still just not enough. It's just not enough.
How much mana is it?
I think it's 3.
3 mana for the new Propaganda?
Let me use my handy dandy powers of Google.
It's in Google Foo, let's go. It's an enchantment, right?
Should be. I'm pulling up the pre-con deck list right now. It is not an enchantment.
Oh, what is it? Also, your screen's not moving for me, so
yeah.
If you're looking at it,
I'm looking at it on my phone. So
okay. What's it called?
That's an excellent question.
I believe it's 2 2-drop creature.
Creature actually 2, not Cartographer's Hawk, not Grateful Apparition. Oh, the Onakai Oathkeeper. There you go.
Oh. Okay. Onakai Oathkeeper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's attacking. I mean, it's just 1, and that thing's a 0/4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Wow.
That's a little rough. Easy to kill. Oh, not that easy to kill. I mean, I'll give it some credit there. I think Anake Oathkeeper is the thing that kind of can maybe help push this over the edge to not being just R2, but like it still feels like a 3 to me.
It's a 3.
Okay.
Look
3s, I don't
at
think
all
you get
this-
better when optimized because I
all
can't
this
think of any
wasted
ways.
potential.
Yeah, that's really a shame. Like it's such a huge shame. It's only got like one build as well, and honestly, Guff's not even that powerful. So like, yeah, this is just. I'm so sad about Guff.
I'm sad about these precons in general, but that's for other reasons.
I like the Abzan one, but that's the only one I got.
Well,
Okay, let's talk about a good, like an actually good commander.
yeah. So we just choose Chandra or Gideon on this, right?
Honestly, I don't think it matters that much which one you pick. Like, yeah, certainly you can go for the option to build your deck around it a single planeswalker type,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just
Play all
keep
of them.
burying. Yeah, just
Yeah.
play them all. Bury your opponent in planeswalkers.
Okay.
Um,
I'm kind of down.
Now, notably, people, you are copying the ability, so you are not getting additional loyalty because loyalty is part of the cost of getting a Planeswalker's loyalty ability. So, you know, if your Planeswalker has a +2 ability and you copy it, you're still only gaining 2 loyalty.
Oh, you just always name Teferi, and then you get a double on the untap for permanents.
Good. Yeah, that's kind of gross. Although the downs, worth noting though, if you do that, you know, the main strength of why Teferi is so good and can be played as a commander is because, well, Teferi is your commander.
Mm-hmm.
So Temporal Archmage, not actually, or is it Temporal Archmage? I don't remember which one it is. But that Teferi not being your commander actually makes that not broken. That just makes it fine. And again, like, there's, I have such a soft spot for any type of commander where they design it and it works well with other mechanics that you might not necessarily see in your deck for what it's doing. Like, this commander really likes having double strike.
Oh, it does just say deal combat damage.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So you
Right,
slap
so-
an Embercleave on this, and it doubles up on that trigger.
Correct. So now you can get 3 copies of, you know, the next loyalty ability that you want to activate. And again, we are talking about planeswalkers here, so again, it's not like we're going to have more than like 2 planeswalkers in play at any given point.
Yep.
And also, sadly, this is honestly real big sad, that the Wanderer does not work with Leori. Because the Wanderer doesn't have a subtype.
What's the subtype on? Oh, the Wandering Emperor is completely different, even though it's the same canonical character.
Yeah,
That's such an oversight.
say what you will on that. It's intentional, but I don't know. I don't fully understand why at this point. It feels like something that they probably should just give an identity to at this point. Eternal Wanderer with this would be gross.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't get to work with that one. But, and to my knowledge, I don't know if there is any. Is there any Planeswalker in these colors? Because EDH Rec does not have any lists currently.
Oh yeah, because this is a new.
Yeah, it's brand new. Any Planeswalker that upticks to give double strike. Upticks are just a simple downtick and not an ultimate.
There's a bunch that give first strike vigilance.
Mm-hmm. First strike's okay, but not great. We really do want to have. We really do want to have double strike.
Not in Jeskai. In Gruul, I believe there is.
Unfortunate then.
Yeah.
So we don't have the easiest way of giving double strike. I mean, we can always play Duelist Heritage or something like that, but
A Johnny.
Johnny does on a down tick.
Boros a Johnny.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so we have something that does this. So yeah, you can just build around whatever planeswalker you want to play with, or you can just, okay, I have a Jason play with the expectation that my Jace will be dying. Sure. Liori being a 3/3 vigilance, not the best for blocking, but there are going to be plenty of ways of, a planeswalker coming down and giving this thing indestructible until your next turn.
It's going to get indestructible, or it gets
Mhm.
1/1 counters. There's a lot of those. So.
Mm-hmm. Still a very vulnerable strategy.
Oh, extremely.
Mm-hmm. But I think this is how you do planeswalkers well.
Yes.
That said, 4, maybe 5, probably 4.
I'm going to give it a 4. I don't think it's quite a 5.
Yeah, I don't think there's no activated ability or any, aside from a planeswalker ultimate, right? Like, there's not like one planeswalker that really just makes this insane. And of course, we don't have all the research to match this for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
That said, you have like the same, well, you have better support than Commodore Guff because you get to work with more things.
It's decently flexible. Like, you get to
Not terrible.
planeswalkers.
3, 4.
Yeah, probably.
Also, I'm gonna
4.
I want to up Enlightened Master's flexibility by quite a bit, actually, because I forgot. Yeah, honestly, I'll give you a 4 on that. And it's always weird whenever I do, like, the 4/4, middle rank 4/4, like, that copying thing, but whatever, it works, right?
Yeah. So, like, I think this is the best that a fair planeswalker, like, Super Friends deck will get in Jeskai.
Yeah. It may still be that Enlightened Master is just better because of how many planeswalkers it can shit out, but who cares?
No. I said fair.
Ah, I see. There was a specification there.
Enlightened Master, absolutely is not fair. Kaikar is not fair. So.
Okay. You got me. All right. I think we're good. Abzan are we going to do Abzan Enchantress or are we going to do Slivers now?
We have to restrain ourselves, Jace, on how bad that mana base is for 5-color Slivers and not let that affect our Zur Scale rankings.
I certainly won't, but thank you for reminding me how much I hate that mana base. Somehow we just missed on Sliver Hive. Like, that's not allowed to be in a precon.
Somehow the $40 Sliver Hive was not allowed to be in a precon.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's so disappointing. Robbo wants to see Abzan. All right, sounds like Abzan for me.
We get the best out of the precon commanders by like a long shot.
Maybe.
It's either this or
It's interesting.
It turns everything into a sliver commander.
That, oh yeah, in terms of mechanics, that's probably actually the strongest one.
Yeah.
Just because there's a whole lot of things you can do with that. Anyway, this thing.
Other enchantment creatures get menace. Demigod. I'm gonna assume she. That looks.
Yeah.
Looks female. So. She has menace. She enters the battlefield. She copies something from your graveyard.
Or when she attacks.
Yeah, this is actually quite good.
Has to be non-aura, which is very relevant because I saw some conversations of like, oh my god, you can overwhelming splendor people on like turn 3. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, curses or auras. No curses for you.
That being said, we can get a doubling season as a 3/3 zombie.
Yes, we can get a lot of token doublers.
Populate it.
This is the fun thing that starts really pushing it over the edge. Also, we just get to play with the core enchantress shell, which is great. Like, we get all of the enchantresses.
It also helps
we're only
that,
missing, like,
that me and Jason were up at like 2 a.m. last night trying to figure out how to break this card.
Maybe a little bit. You don't know my life.
Just a little bit.
hmm Um, so, okay, the things I don't like about this is um, the discard outlets are a little bit awkward here.
Mm-hmm.
And I do find a lot of issues with how many auras you don't get to play.
Yeah.
That said, the enchantment creatures are fine, and there's plenty of good-sized enchantments that we are perfectly happy to just bring back anyway.
There's also quite a few enchantment creatures that were perfectly fine them coming back as a 3/3 as well.
Mm-hmm. You want to give me a Nyx Blue Mansion for on turn 4 or something like that? Yeah, absolutely.
Or you want
take it.
You want me to have a Rasta back as a 3/3 instead of a 3/5? Sign me up.
Yeah, plenty of good options. The getting cards into graveyard portion of this deck is the awkward thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, and as simple or as dumb as this may sound, you probably just want to draw as many cards as possible. I know, controversial statement, but you probably just
playing this as raw enchantress and just drawing all the cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't worry about trying to get stuff into your graveyard a fancy way. It'll get there eventually. Yeah, you're probably more than capable of making some good stuff happen pretty quickly. And there's plenty of decent sized enchantments. Again, I don't know about some of the cards. Like, I'm not a huge fan of putting sagas into this deck, but I don't hate having sagas in this deck. Oh my god, I forgot about Chivalric Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a discard outlet. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Cemetery Tampering is a really strong card in this deck.
Yes, Cemetery Tampering's good. A shame that there is no, like, not exact, but rough survival of the fittest equivalent.
Necrogymnast, yep.
I had to wonder about the Solitary Confinement one. Solitary Confinement, because, like, doesn't that prevent you from attacking, or does it just prevent damage?
I think it just prevents damage.
I'm gonna double check. Because Solitary Confinement is just a card that you get to play with no issues. Let's see. Skip draw step, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. You have Shroud, you sacrifice it unless you discard a card. Okay, no, you can still attack.
Mm-hmm.
You can still attack while you have Solitary Confinement. That seems dumb to me. But
oh yeah, for sure, Veggie Dog. This is absolutely big ramp vibes. The deck.
Oh, yeah. Enchantress decks just want so much mana because they are probably the most mana hungry deck out there because they just want to keep playing more spells and drawing more cards and playing more spells and drawing more cards and just going and going and going. And they typically play a whole lot of cards that are not particularly great. They just kind of like, yeah, sure, I'll play Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace doesn't help me at all, but maybe it hurts my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And it often does.
Also, at least from the EDA track page, I'm not seeing a ton of discard enchantments, which kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, there's certainly a lack of discard enchantments, although I do know of, like, Oblivion Crown, but again, that's an aura, so that doesn't help very much.
Mm-hmm.
Although that might just be a card that you play in this deck anyway, because it's okay. But it may be just too subpar as well. This deck's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's Enchantress. Enchantress has a baseline of how good it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's better than Sithis.
Oh, no, for sure not.
But this feels like fine, like 6.
6.
Yeah, this feels fine to me. It feels very linear. It does feel capped as well. Like, it feels like I'm not seeing the combos or ways that it starts, like, really improving that much by adding certain optimizations in there. It feels like it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Havel's, well, actually, nah, you probably just have all the support. It's fine. No, okay. So it's missing an enchantment creature and it's missing a good discard outlet. That's what it's missing. Give me those two things. Like, give me some better enchantment creatures and give me
what are you talking
more
about,
discard
Jason?
outlets.
We have the ability to discard 2 cards to make a zombie.
Stop with your stupid zombie infestation.
It's a card we're playing in the deck, Jason. You know it's good in the deck.
It's maybe good in the deck. I'm not sure.
We need the cards to go into the graveyard, Jason. It is good.
Yeah, let me double check what Necrogen Mist does
Necrogen
again.
Mist is also quite good in this deck.
How exactly does it work? Okay, it's just an upkeep discard outlet.
Yep.
Honestly, I may have to. You know what? Maybe I'll give it a 7 for the optimized ranking, because I feel like if you're playing Solitary Confinement and Necrogen Mist, there's a clear difference in how you're building your deck. That's very important here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are just kind of desperate for a good discard outlet. There's also one other really good discard outlet that we're not allowed to play.
Yep.
I'm gonna say this right now. This is one of the best Chains of Mephistopheles decks out there. But I don't know who wants to pay $1,500 for their chains. Ah, God, that makes me so sad that we can't play that.
Oh, reserve list.
Out of time. We really went out of time here.
I think so.
Oh God, how's out of time?
Okay. Out of time's just a board wipe, right? Like, completely.
Well, it phases all things out. Okay. This is one of those situations where I need to know what happens if this is the creature that we have phased out. I believe it's fine. But if this is the enchantment creature that is phased out as well, I don't know if you ever actually get to remove a counter from this thing, and they're just all phased out permanently.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
We're gonna move away from this now. Let's talk about Narcy.
That sounds like we need to go up a couple judge levels.
Yeah. Talk to somebody else. Yeah, it just faces everything out permanently. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought would be the outcome.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually have counters. Yep.
No, thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Let's talk about Narcy here, Fable Singer.
Sagas are bad.
Yeah, but anyway, hold on. So, 4-mana legendary creature enchantment bard. It's a 3/3 with lifelink, and whenever you sacrifice an enchantment, draw a card, and whenever the final chapter ability of a saga you control resolves, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is that saga's mana value. Okay, now we can proceed.
All right. No, hear me out, Jason. Sagas are bad.
Carry on.
All right. No, now I'm just gonna move over here, and I'm gonna scroll on down. We gave this man a 4, and we're missing 2 colors. And this is infinitely stronger than the other one.
So, counterpoint. I agree with you about Saga bad.
Sacrifice an enchantment, draw a card, I understand is good.
That is good. And more specifically, because again, EDH Rec does not have any cards for this or any decks for this currently. So we get to play the seals, we get to play all of these self-sacrificing enchantments that Mazzy usually plays, minus the red ones, of course. There's actually a lot, and I mean a lot of ways to just self-sacrifice enchantments for good effects. I'm inclined to say like this commander is just a 5 outright because of how strong that text is. I don't know about progressing along sagas, if there's like proliferation that we want to be doing or something to make this happen. I also realistically I don't think Tom Bombadil is actually that good, because the number of sagas you end up trying to play in Tom Bombadil decks is kind of insane, whereas in Narcy decks you just play like, oh sure, I'll just play these 6 or 7 enchantments that are good. Yeah, you don't have to go deep on it. That said, people will go deep on it, and I think that's a mistake. So, I think there's a split between the optimized and the unoptimized rating.
All right, normal 3, because it's going to be all sagas, and it's going to be all sagas.
Even then, I'm not convinced that this is worse than Tom Bombadil for all sagas. Because, like, all sagas in Abzan versus in 5-color, I think mana issues hold you back so hard with Tom Bombadil also being a 5-cost commander. Like, you're not always playing Tom on turn 5, whereas Narcy here, we're probably playing on turn 3 very consistently.
That's true. Okay. Fine. Fine, Jason. We can give it a 4. We can go 4-6.
Fuck you. I think it's a 5.
We can go 4-6.
I think it's a 5-6.
We can go 4-6.
I think it's a 5-6. Chat.
4-6.
I say 5-6. Veggie Dog? Absolutely. Stick to 5-color Urtet. Urtet's good.
Yeah, Urtet's quite good.
But again, I will fight you on this one. I think this is a 5.
4, take it or leave it.
Chat, save me. Help me out here. Enchantments, it's really hard to do the convincing on this when we don't have the fucking EDA track data.
Mm-hmm. And also, I distinctly remember most of the self-sacrificing enchantments are not that good. So even if they do draw a card, they're still not that good.
I mean, I still think that turning cards like seals into more useful things. Additionally, we're talking about if you can play cards like Replenish in your deck, Replenish gets significantly better. Hi. You're looking for the self-sacrificing ones here.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Here as well.
That's fair. We can take a couple looks at them. 4. Don't you betray me.
See, Veggie Dog knows what's up.
No, you don't.
Like Seal of Primordium?
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. That's probably like one of the best ones.
I mean, Seal of Doom is probably your best one, because that's just 4.5.
Well,
now listen here, Veggie Dog. Pick a number.
Nope. 4. All the omens are not good. Yeah, Seal of Doom is definitely the best one here.
I might play the Black Omen in this deck, but that's not great. You can play Braids in your deck and just draw an extra card every time as well, which is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Added 2 more enchantment sack outlets in the precon. Ooh, that's interesting. I would like to look at those very quickly.
Yeah, they're not great. You do have to pay mana for them. So
if you have to pay mana, that's a little rough. Well, let's see. What you do exactly? Would it be one of the new cards? It'd probably be new cards. Actually, big question, Moxfield. Do you have the precons updated?
Yes, precons are on.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you, Moxfield. We love you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. We've got... Alright, Nyxborn Behemoth. I do not like that card. I wouldn't play it even if I was looking for it, like specifically enchantment sack outlets. Extinguish all hope. Lovely. Abundance is in this deck. That's neat. I need to see the other enchantment sack outlet. I don't think it is there. Or if it is there, I missed it.
I think you missed it. I know there is 2, but...
Well,
that's
just unfortunate.
There's just not enough here.
I still think it was a 5. Like, just play your good sagas when you want the saga effects. Yeah, Nyxborn. The Nyxborn Behemoth does not seem very good. It's big, it's goofy. He's a dude. Oh, the demon. Demon's face assign is an enchantment sack outlet. That one's better.
Still not good.
No, I'll give you that. I don't think that's good. I don't know. There's probably plenty of ways of just sacrificing a permanent or sacrificing a like you can just sacrifice enchantment creatures for doing combo things or just drawing cards with these decks. So like, I don't know. I still feel like there's enough here that I would give it a 5. Is there anyone who agrees with me, or am I just stuck here and we're doing 4 6s and I don't like it?
I honestly think we're stuck here, Jason, because
I will mark it down for now, but if someone says otherwise, I'm changing it. Also, I should be in the correct spot and not there. Support's about a 9 because of the enchantment sack issue. Maybe a little bit lower because the... No, it's still enchantress. Like, it's still just enchantress, so yeah, it gets enough support.
Yeah.
Flexibility. We kind of low. I'm putting this thing's power with 5, and you can't stop me.
Oh no, I will agree on that.
Small brain, but we have smooth brains. Why would we need small when smooth does fine?
Yeah, so the self-sacking would be like the seal of doom and all that. Yeah, that's my thing, is like you get a few good cards and the rest of them are not good.
Robo, we haven't rated Gimli yet. However, Gimli is the next thing we will be rating once we are done with these Commander Masters cards.
Mm-hmm. Is the deck a 5 or no?
This is not talking about the precon. These are talking about these commanders on their own things in relative comparison to all other commanders. Right? Saying that Narcy is slightly below average on just comparison to all commanders, which I just disagree with.
Yeah.
I think she is average. But c'est la vie. Alright, we gonna talk about slivers now?
Slivers. We're going slivers.
Alright.
We want to talk about the biologist, or do we want to talk about the actual sliver?
I mean, Brooker Rumel is first, so we'll talk about the biologist.
Okay. Yeah, there's some dumb things you can do with this.
Okay. So, this is the card Conspiracy, or Arcane Adaptation, whichever one you want to work with, Xenograph, whatever. All the creatures and cards in your deck now get to become the type of your choice. Excellent. Fantastic. We can do great combo shenanigans with just that line of text. And a lot of people are like, yes, I can make it so that my slivers and non-token creatures I control, because this only really affects the token slivers at that point, which is what she makes. But look, I wouldn't play this card as a slivers card.
This is the ultimate tribal trouble card.
Indeed. More specifically, I just play this 5-color elves.
Yeah.
Like just play 5-color elves and go crazy with it. I mean, to be fair, you don't get that much better just by playing elves. But I will say that let's start here. I'm gonna have to start on substats. The flexibility of this commander is extremely high. Yes, we are linearly trying to do roughly the same thing, but the flexibility of what we are doing is very high, to about a 7.
To about a 7. I agree with Seductive Swine here. She's great, but trying to think about building her hurts my brain.
Completely understandable, because the easiest thing to do with this commander is to just, pick a card type and go crazy. Hey, this one actually has lists. There's 100 of them. Neat.
Oh, wow.
How many of them are not specifically slivers?
Probably not that many.
About 50% of them are slivers currently, from what I can see.
My thing is like, why would you play this as slivers? I don't like it, unless you want to do slivers, dragons, and then Miram, which is kind of hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Or slivers, dwarves, Magda, which is also hilarious.
Yes. Well, actually, honestly, Magda might be in there for the dragon's purposes again, because then you can just search any sliver from your deck.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
Zombies seem pretty okay. Yeah.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
This is an option where you get to play 5-color zombies. Basically, any color except for red has decent zombie support. So, and even the red zombies aren't terrible. They're just not great.
They're not good, but then you just replace them with slivers, and they're fine.
Yeah. And again, you can also just you now get to take any tribal support, so to speak, and you can apply it to any creature, right? A zombie that might not have been, or rather, a creature that is great for a zombies deck but isn't a zombie, like Sidisi, now gets to be a zombie.
Yep.
So
quite good.
This is quite good. Feels pretty average as a deck overall, though.
I think it's a baseline 5, and I don't know that it gets better optimized. Yeah,
we'll see. There's going to be some really cool color goblins. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. This is one of the awkward things where it's like, when you talk about the really, really good, the really good tribe/typal decks, you get this weird issue where oftentimes there is just a better commander, or oftentimes they don't improve that much by adding more colors because they lose a whole lot of consistency as a result. Because like Krinko is still king if you're going to play most goblins decks. Like, just go mono red goblins and go crazy. But adding the colors adds options. This is an option where you could play food chain goblins, for example.
Which is hot.
That's neat.
All food chain combos are hot. And you can't stop me from saying that.
Yeah. I feel like this is a fine 5/6. This, as was stated earlier, building around her makes my brain hurt, and I don't know why.
Yeah, no. 5/6.
There's just so many options to figure out how to make this good.
It does so much that it has to be at least a 5. So
yeah, it feels like this is the very conservative answer of, this is probably about where it should be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with these ones as well, seeing if we can do some fun stuff. I don't know if we decided if we're just going to play face precons or face commanders for this or not.
Just playing the precons because they were
that's
supposed to be
understandable too. Yeah, I don't know. May not end up doing that. We'll figure out exactly what we're doing for that recording though. All right, we ready for Grave Mother?
Yeah. Oh boy.
All right. I don't like Grave Mother.
I don't either. I do like the encore effect. Problem.
Yes.
You have to exile the encore sliver, which is not good.
That is a significant issue. I do like that you can play the time stop effects in this deck to, save your stuff. That's cool. And just get 3 of things. And I do love the interaction with Sliver Legion.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, the Sliver Legion interaction is just the reason to play this deck, basically. But then it just kind of begs the question of why not just play Sliver Legion?
With this in your 99. I feel like this is the worst out of the 5-color slivers.
Potentially. We may not be giving this proper consideration because there is one card that I really want to talk about in relation with this, which is Intruder Alarm.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's kind of good.
Yeah, once you start playing the Mana Weft and Gemhide, when you have Mana Weft and Gemhide Sliver in play and you have Intruder Alarm, yes, Robo, I agree. First Sliver is still better. But also First Sliver is just better because it's a food chain commander.
Yeah.
So
First Sliver can literally not care about slivers and still be a food chain commander and still be good. So
yeah. I think this is better than Hive Lord for sure. I think this. God, I don't love this commander, but honestly, this commander is probably like. If people are doing the one specific interaction that I'm hoping to see, which is this combo component with things like Intruder Alarm, which is only in 15% of decks currently. That percentage certainly can change, but it's a little too low currently.
Oh my god. Seductive Swine has the tech. Just turn every creature into a sliver. And then Elish Norns out of the graveyard.
Okay. That's some fun tech.
That's a fun deck. I like that.
We make a lot of token copies. We can go pretty wide with this. Maybe I was being a little too harsh on this because of the encore costs. Like, we have to pay them, and they're pretty high. Oh yeah, I guess Zerda does work with this. That's nice. Okay, well, if we have Zerda as an option as well,
Yeah.
there has to be some type of combo here that I'm not seeing immediately. And most of the lists that have been pulled in are just precons, so
It's just play all the time stop effects. And then,
good number.
yeah. I do agree with Veggie Dog. You need a lot to make this deck work.
Yeah.
Like,
So far, it seems like we need a lot. Because of all the self-sacrificing slivers as well, it may not cost as much as we think. This may be a combo slivers deck that is just trying to pop off really hard.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. This baseline deck is, and this is just by the nature of how slivers work. Also, I'm going to bump Hive Lord down to 4. I'm going to bump Hive Lord down, but I think Grave Mother gets to sit as a 5 as well.
Okay. Yeah, because you're just recurring, right? And that's your reason behind it.
Yes, I think it ends up just being, this is fine. It's not the most amazing thing out there, but it is fine. It does some good stuff. That said, again, like I feel like I am absolutely missing something very, very important about how this can be like a big combo deck that just kills you out of nowhere. I feel like this needs to be a 5-7 split, and I need data. I really need data playing against Sliver Grave Mother to see, like, somebody who's actually built it and is trying to make this card good, as opposed to just playing against the precon and average Sliver things.
Alright, don't worry. We have our good friend Corey, who already got this brewed.
Excellent.
So
Already show me the way.
Corey and Cody have already brewed this. I'm 100% certain on that. They're going to show us the way. And it's still probably just going to be a 5.
Fair point. I've gone and put it in. The numbers are in 5, 7, 10, 2, 5. Any disagreement there?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Also, where do we put Grand Unifier at? Oh yeah, Grand Unifier is 7, because it's just big and does dumb things. Yep, makes sense to me. Alright, so that is all this. We are back to our regularly scheduled program of Lord of the Rings then.
There's so many.
I have a good feeling that we're probably only going to do
I say
Gruul and maybe parts of Selesnya.
I say we just hit the highlights left for right now.
The highlights left. Oh, well, let's get Gimli, because we need Gimli.
Yeah, Gimli is included in the highlights, because I actually think Gimli is quite good. Or
I think it needs a
solid.
lot to work.
He's still quite solid. I shouldn't say good.
Yeah. The whole bit of 2 creatures die to give the thing indestructible has come up a lot. And then the just getting larger and the third time being able to fight. That comes up multiple times a game because Gimli's able to protect itself, but with enough interaction, Gimli does not take over a game easily. So
He's also like one of the very few Gruul decks that I feel is super slow, because he needs to be set up in order to run.
that's true. Does need a fair bit of setup. Gimli doesn't really come down on turn 3 that consistently. Or turn 2. But there are plenty of ways of protecting it, plenty of ways of getting a good number of tokens, because it's weird to say that, like, red doesn't provide enough sack outlets. It could use a couple of more, basically. And green provides plenty of tokens, but there's still a limit to how many it's providing, and it doesn't seem like it's giving you enough recursive tokens, so to speak, like a token every turn.
Yeah.
Because the ones that do give you the tokens every turn are like 4 and 5 mana, and it's like 2 mana.
Yeah.
Rebel, I don't know if this is in your list, but you absolutely should be playing Loyal Apprentice if you can. Like a 2 mana way of just getting a token every single turn, and it is something that sticks around, is very, very good.
Hot take, Loyal Apprentice should show up in a lot more commander decks than it does.
Hot take, reprint that thing in more precons.
Yeah.
Just give me more Loyal Apprentice. I love Loyal Apprentice. Treasure stuff doesn't work great here. Yeah, I think Gimli is holding up this deck. Or rather, I should say, he is what makes this deck good.
Yes.
Because if you were just playing this as a sack deck,
you're in the wrong colors to do it.
Oh, if Gimli had black, it would be nutty? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you made this card like a Jund card, oh my god, even just green-black, this would be really, really good, or red-black.
Ooh, we'd be talking. If this was Jund.
Yeah. That said, 5?
5.
I like 5s. I don't know if it gets better when optimized. I think in the end it doesn't.
It might actually get worse because other people's decks get better, but
I don't think...
dramatically better than Gimli does.
Well, now Gimli gets to play more hate pieces. Which, granted, you don't have that many of them, but, like, Root Maze screws over a lot of combo decks.
Mm-hmm.
You get better card draw and ability to use your tokens for beatdowns and getting through because people play fewer creatures the more optimized they get.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually kind of close to say whether or not it goes down when optimized, but I think it remains on par. I'll keep it with the 5. You cool with that?
It's a real debate.
Porch Hot Summer Nights.
Yeah.
All right, hey Veggie. See you in a bit.
See you, Veggie.
Good luck with your phone. Flexibility. You don't have great flexibility here. You really don't. Which is one of the things. Maybe we should be. One of my criticisms I have of my own list here is the flexibility rating doesn't do enough.
Yeah.
It may be that flexibility is really what helps with optimized rating, and that's where it should be going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. No, he's a great mid-power commander. So
yeah. And he seems quite adequate for what he wants to do. It is not too difficult to get self-sacrificing. Also, I could just say that the easiest thing to do is just play this man as goblins and have a good day, but that's kind of the boring option.
Agreed.
Right. Good on that?
Yep.
Cool, we got a fast one if we want to.
2s?
Strider, 2s. Carry on.
Okay. Want to make sure.
2s, if not 1s.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's an average deck. There you go, Robbo.
Are we highlighting or are we going over Selesnya?
I would like to highlight on the Selesnya.
Highlight on... Okay, we're going to just do highlights of Selesnya. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, are there any Selesnya commanders people would particularly like to hear from? Otherwise, we will just pick a couple that we are very interested in. I have one that I'm very interested in talking about.
Yeah, this one down here.
That is one of them. Samwise Gamgee is one of the ones that I really want to talk about. The other one is Treebeard.
Oh, hey, the two I wanted to talk about.
Hell yeah, let's go, Samwise.
The best food chain commander, and it's not even close? Or not, I'm sorry, no. The best Hulk line if we had black.
Yes, under that specific context, yes. For those who are unaware, Protean Hulk is a big old 7 mana 6/6 that when it dies, you go and search for 6 mana value of creatures and put them into play. If you grab Samwise Gamgee, you just get Samwise, a Grand Abolisher, and a what's the name of that stupid cat? Cauldron Familiar. You get a Cauldron Familiar at just 5 mana. And then you need your sack outlet for 1 more mana. So your Viscera Seer or whatever. Viscera Seer. You put all that together for 6 mana. You have a Hulk pile that is now can't be interacted with. Because Sam makes a food anytime a creature enters the battlefield. You sacrifice the cat. It comes back, sacrificing one of the foods, makes a food, drains for 1, repeat.
Yep.
Very, very, very good. That said, Samwise Gamgee, when you don't have him in a Hulk pile.
Still quite good.
Honestly, pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah. So when we're not in a Hulk pile, the second ability is a very real ability.
Mm-hmm.
Rebuying something for 3 food is quite easy to do.
Yes.
Also, being a 2 mana commander helps out a significant amount.
Yeah. Currently, and as one might expect, most people are building this deck in a way that's kind of just like we're playing Lord of the Rings cards, like all the Lord of the Rings cards, which, to be fair, this is how you get a whole lot of food, and they're building this as a food deck.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is absolutely the correct way to do it.
It's probably close.
It's definitely pretty close on that. Oh god, I love the interaction with Sarenth Steelseeker. That's really nice.
Mm-hmm. I love seeing Emil and Elishnorn in this deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both quite good here. I'm trying to think if there's a really easy way of sacrificing or to create a loop with this commander. Well, actually, I mean, I can just look up here. Let's see. Farmer Cotton plus Samwise Gamgee plus Academy Manufacturer and Ashnod's Altar.
Oh boy. Infinite creature tokens. Sure. Infinite treasure tokens. Because Academy Manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just an infinite line, isn't it?
Infinite draws. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And this is all cards I would reasonably play. Like, the weird one is the Ashnod's Altar.
I still think just because we're rebuying stuff that we play it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, normally. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
This is good. This is quite
This
good,
is perfect.
actually.
This is perfectly good. It's on the combo-y side, which is cool with me. Like, it's not broken or anything. It's nice. Feels still kind of average. Maybe a little above average, but I would need to see more of it to say that with certainty.
I'm thinking 5-6.
5-6 with potential for higher on the optimized.
Mm-hmm. Like, just for now, a 6 on the optimized, but...
Mm-hmm.
I
think
this is
that
an
sounds
average
pretty
deck.
fair to me. How many people are playing Ashnod's Altar in this deck? That's a big question for me. Ashnod's Altar, 12% of decks. Okay, so we're not comboing that consistently.
Yeah. We're
just doing value things.
Still a pretty dang good value commander.
Yeah, won't deny it. It's only historic things that it gets back, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, Robbo, we'll get to Treebeard in a minute. Calm down.
Don't worry.
We got to talk about this card. Yeah, we got to go 5-7 split or 5-6. Yeah,
I'm going 5-6 to lean on the cautionary side, but
yeah, I think that's fair. I think support's a little bit lacking. Just because artifacts, mill, like, it's fine. The food support that has been given with this set is very, very potent.
Mm-hmm.
I am very curious to see if and when we will see a Sappy Eriksdotter style combo with this commander. I don't think it is very hard for us to see it, or for it to come up eventually. But I'll need more information to be sure.
I think once we get out of Lord of the Rings being the new hotness, we might actually start to see it pop up a little bit. Yeah. But till that happens.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's very reasonable. Yeah, so 5-6-8-3-5. That seems good to me.
Sounds good to me.
All right. We scrolling down.
Treebeard.
Treebeard. All right, so There's a 4-mana 0/5 Tree Folk with Trample, Ward 2. When it enters the battlefield, it makes 2 food tokens, and whenever you gain life, you put that many counters on target Halfling or Tree Folk.
Alright. Just want to make sure.
Mhm.
At 60, only 62% of decks, people, I am upset at you.
Oh, yeah, this is just like, what, a 3-card combo to do that one? Yeah, 3-card combo because you just need a Soul Warder and a Soul Sister of some type, a Scurry Oak. That's infinite, an infinitely large Scurry Oak, and infinite life and infinite 1/1s.
Yep.
That's real easy. Yeah, there's all sorts of different Scurry Oak combos going in here. Thick.
Thick. I like it.
Yeah, honestly, this is better than Trelsara, right?
Yes.
Because I think we put Trelsara as like a 5 or a 6, right?
Trelsara Moondancer?
Oh, we put her as a 4. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Somewhere between that. I knew she was close to average. I wasn't sure where at average. I definitely feel like Treebeard's better. Significantly better.
Oh, yeah. Since it's a Scurio combos.
Yeah.
6?
Well, let's... Before we get too deep in that, how deep are we going down the rabbit hole of just doing Scurry Oak things, and how deep down the rabbit hole are we going of Halfling things? Because I don't think the Halflings or Tree Folk build is better. I think the Scurry Oak, like, we are optimizing for Scurry Oak comboing, and we have a kind of medium in life gain deck happening in between.
I think that most people would agree that this is a Scurry Oak deck. Just based on what I'm seeing from EDH Rec.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fall off between cost reduction for and tutoring out your Scurry Oak is quite dramatic.
Can we go to the... I actually really want to look at the instance and sorcery section. How well are we tutoring out this? Because, like, where's Worldly Tutor? Like
14%.
That's a little low.
That's
Held
pretty
Armory
low.
Skulls at 16%. That's reasonable, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, realistically for this deck, we don't have to tutor out the Soul Sister side very often, because we just have that. Like, we're going to have so many redundant ones.
We have to get Scurry Oak.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only one that we...
Yes. We need to get Scurry Oak, and we need to protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Does he say put on another, or can he put it on himself to supplement for until we get Scurry Oak out?
He can put it on himself. He can just get thick.
Okay, yeah, then...
You also have Trample.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Sorceries.
Gets to play with just the generic life gain synergies as well. I will definitely say, in terms of like a generic life gain deck, I do think he's better in like the Sam and Frodo life gain deck, for example, or Bilbo, like those types of decks. I think he's a little bit better in the deck. But that said, as a leader of his own deck, like, yeah, when you're just optimizing for Scurry Oak, you're good to go. Card advantage is a slight issue, not a big issue, because we are green.
You still have green. And you have white's surprising amount of new card draw spells.
Yeah. Ah, man.
Anything that produces permanence that easily at 2 CMCs can't be bad. You know?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good sum up for Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost willing to call this a 6 and just, like, man, it's the halflings builds that make me go like, oh, that's not that good.
Mm-hmm. The thing is that it's so... just from the data that we see, it's so much leaning into Soul Sisters.
Oh, Archivist of Ogma is a halfling.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just leaning into life gain and Tree Folk here.
Tree Folk beats. Yeah, I think, it just generically, I think this can be a 6.
Yeah.
uh, the backup plan of, well, I have a Heliod and second Heliod, so
I mean, it's pretty good to me.
yeah, I'm cool with this. All right, 6 or 6-7.
uh,
I
let's go
think it does get better.
6-6. It
It does get better when you go really hard for optimizing to get the Scurry Oak into play.
yeah. Eh. Okay, I'll let you put a 7 there since I got my firm 4 earlier.
Yeah. I will say though, when you do start building towards Scurry Oak being like the reason you're winning games, I don't think Treebeard is inherently the best thing. Like I do think it becomes the cards in the deck start carrying the deck more than Treebeard, but when you are building it the other way, Treebeard is the thing that's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Matt, how much longer are we wanting to go?
I've got another 15 minutes.
Another 15 minutes. All right. If anybody has any, and I mean any commander that you want to see out of Lord of the Rings, very quickly, let us know. I think for convenience sake, so that we have something that people are interested in, we're probably only going to be able to talk about 2 more commanders, so let us know what you want to see. But in the meantime, let's talk about Aragorn the Uniter.
Yeah. All right. This is the best. This is legitimately, Jason, the best. I'm playing a monocolor deck that just happens to have a 4-color commander.
That's true. I won't deny that.
This is also the best, like, one of the best budget commanders, because you can legitimately just play a 2-color deck.
Yeah.
And it still functions.
Yeah, let me go ahead and say this. It's been a long time since I've seen this. Aragorn's flexibility is a 9 or a 10.
Oh, easily.
Like, you can play this commander literally monocolor and build around the mechanic that it's giving you.
Mm-hmm.
You can build this multicolor, if you want to play humans, 4-color humans, you have a good option for that.
You can play this as Storm.
You can play red heavy Storm, where your commander is a win con. Really good. You can play just green punchies, because Aragorn being a 5/5 that gets +4/+4 and gets trampled pretty easily. Yeah, you can play him as a Legendaries Matters deck. You can play just charms. And that's the big thing, right? Like going like, oh yeah, I just want to play all these 4-color and 3 and 4-color cards is really good.
Yep.
I think I'm going to give it a 9 on the flexibility, not quite that 10. Just because it does get a little bit awkward moving away from permanent-based strategies.
I still love this as, like, charms the deck.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of people are building it, right? You've got like 40% of people are building this as charms. Or as multicolored matters to try to get to maximize each of the triggers. But honestly, you can just legitimately build around one of the triggers.
Yeah.
And it's not only meaningfully impactful, it's actually quite good.
Yeah, I legitimately love this as, like, legendary creatures matter, and you just get a ton of tokens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, like, I'll be real with you. I think legendary creatures matters is probably one of the worst ways you can build this.
Yeah, but it's still good.
And it's still quite good. Just playing against people who have been playing, Lord of the Rings themed commander decks around this, and they're just playing only cards from Lord of the Rings, and it's like, yeah, no, you're punching pretty hard here.
Mm-hmm. You're
doing a lot.
And then you start branching into stuff and getting like a jet mirror in your deck, and you're like, oh dear God.
Oh hey, Exalted Requiem. For anyone who's unaware, that is Alice. This is one of the people who helped me, or the person who helped me build this list when its first iteration. So, really happy to see you, Alice.
Oh, so this is where all my time has disappeared to. Thank you so much for that.
So, yeah, what we have going on here, though. How good is this, though? Like at baseline, I feel like we're starting at baseline 7, but I'm not sure how much better than 7.
I think it can go 7-8.
7-8, depending on how there's probably like. I'm very curious to see if Ethan does decide to go through and do like that red heavy storm build.
I think the storm build brings it up to an 8.
Yeah.
Your commander does just kill people pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. And, yeah. That feels about right to me.
Yeah, that feels good.
All right. One more commander. And did we see anyone have any recommendations?
I've not seen any.
Okay. Well, then, I don't know.
Simic?
Simic? Sure. Good commanders in Simic. Let's talk about Simic things.
Alright. I'm trying to I don't remember the Simic.
How much scrying would you like to do today?
Oh, that's Jason. You already know who you're talking to.
So we're going to talk about Galadriel of Lothlorien.
Yes.
Oh, that's one vote for Legolas counter of kills. We want to jump. Actually, no, have we already done a Legolas counter of kills?
I thought we did. That's the mono green one, right?
No, Legolas counter of kills is Simic.
Is Simic.
Okay.
Alright.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I'm down. Hey, we still scry.
We're still scrying. Look at that. Okay, so we're untapping the thing if you do, and you only get to do it once each turn. And creature opponent controls dies. Get a counter. Alright, so killing things in Simic, something we are so notoriously good at doing.
Alright. Counterpoint. Monkey.
Oh, Kogla? Yeah.
No, other counterpoint. Pongify monkey.
I mean, yeah, we can get some removal and turn things around. Also sitting here thinking about, like, liquid metal coating and just destroying artifacts at that point as kind of a way to jump through the hoop. So, all right, so what tap ability are we giving this commander to make it so the untapping portion matters a lot?
Tap for mana. Is
Ability to tap for mana?
Legolas is elf.
Is, in fact, elf. Who would have thought?
Legolas is an elf, so therefore, elf ball. And I present Simic elf ball, Jason, on the 88 track page.
Seems a little medium. Let's go a little deeper, though. You mentioning the elf stuff, I'm remembering things like Jaspera Sentinels or... God, what am I blanking on? There's a couple of other ways of, like, tapping an untapped elf you control to do something. We're... I don't know. It's a little rough, so.
It's still pretty rough.
That creature's controller. Okay, do we have much way of getting, like, tap-based fighting involved?
No.
Because probably, like, I don't see Uvenbolt Tracker in here, but Uvenbolt Tracker is probably a card I would be very interested in playing if I was building this deck. Because, like, the goal is to get a very, very big Legolas.
Aggressively medium, one could say.
Yeah, we are in that aggressively medium camp of things. Ways to give my
longbow. Just deal with damage.
Let's be sure. Yeah, we still get a counter anytime something dies. But it's the scrying gets us the untap. So I guess we don't have to build too deep into the killing an opponent's creature. We can just focus on the untap ability if we would prefer.
Yeah, but even then it's still not that great. I don't know. I'm thinking a 3. Is that crazy?
No, 3's not crazy. That may be accurate because there is a lack of. It's kind of weird. Like, there's stuff to build around, but it requires so many pieces to an effect that doesn't seem great to me. And this would put it very much on the low end of Simic commanders, since Simic just has a higher quality overall.
Which I kind of feel is where this is at. So.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of strength here. So I'm cool with putting this at 3s. Any objection to 3s for Legolas, counter of kills? I am interested in seeing if there's something that I'm missing with the ability to untap it from scrying, and that creates a big effect. Because that would be nice.
Exalted.
Wouldn't go higher than a 4. I think that is very fair.
Yep, I think that's kind of where I'm at.
The flexibility is awkward. Because you could just play Elf Ball, but like, that's just a creature type is not enough for me to justify that as a flexibility rating.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we got 5 more minutes. We want to speed run this Galadriel or no?
No, because Galadriel actually requires that we talk about things.
Okay, that's understandable.
So, chat, I think that might be a good wrapping up point.
Yeah, I think we are going to be done for the time being. We're probably going to have to, Matt, you and I, we're probably going to have to do a session or 2 off stream.
Oh yeah.
Just so we can still be ready in time for Wilds of Eldraine, because previews for Wilds of Eldraine are going to start in like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay, so we can do that sometime.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll still do one more live stream of doing this, but I think we're still at like what, 40 or 50.
We have enough that it would be 2 sessions of us talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be one of those ones where like us doing it offline is going to be us talking about the bad ones. So extra not fun. But we will give you all some fun things to talk about and look at later.
It's basically just going to be us sorting through, okay, do we want to talk about this on stream? If no, then rate. If yes, then leave it.
The Marion, but yeah, there's plenty of... There are plenty of commanders that I just sit there and go,
Jason,
I don't want to talk about that on stream.
We're going to do this. It's gonna... We'll eventually catch up, and then WotC will release 150 more commanders on us, and then we'll cry.
I mean, Wilds of Eldraine is probably going to have another Legendary Matters sub-theme, if I had to guess.
Alright, but that's it for us, chat. If you enjoyed the stream, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you have not, and also join our Discord where we talk about how wrong we are on the Zur Scale and also play a lot of community games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have game night every Saturday. We have an entire channel dedicated to just talking about Zur Scale stuff, and we highly jump in there, chat with us about it, because again, we want to talk about these commanders. We want to get the ideas. Yes, there are so many bad commanders.
Yeah.
If you think that, if you thought that the things from like Kamigawa block were bad, now that we've introduced commanders specifically for draft formats, we've seen such a severe issue with like a lot of bad commanders coming out. But we got to talk about them anyway. All right. With that, I'm done for the night. Matt, you done?
I'm also done.
All right. Good night, everyone. Y'all have a great night.